Greetings, everyone. Do you have a deep desire to become an e-commerce business person, or you want help in taking your e-commerce startup at the next level? So let me share with you. You guys are not alone. In case you don't know me, I'm Mia Bilal. I'm from Punjab, Pakistan. I'm an entrepreneur, social selling consultant, and host of State of the Union for e-commerce. Today we have a very special guest with us, Saad Munir from Lahore, Pakistan. He is an e-commerce person and founder and CEO of Hexaclicks and Facebook ads marketer as well. Today he will be sharing his life experiences with us. So Saad, first of all, thank you so much for joining us today on the show.
Pleasure coming here.
So Saad, please share with us where were you, what happened, who you were surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today.
So I'll just start with my brief introduction, yeah. So and
Sure.
then I'll explain how I reach to the place where I am today. What made me molded what I am today.
Yeah.
So what happened is basically, uh, I always inspired doing something online, yeah. So by the time it's I'm talking about 2007 and 8, when actually people having an internet with a high speed was a dream, was a luxury, in Pakistan. And I travel a lot. Whenever I'm traveling in UK and I'm on airport, I'm seeing a lot of people being connected through the internet. But when I come to Pakistan, there was a missing of the bridges for connectivity and for purchasing and doing all that other activity online that we started doing in early 2011. So when I came here, I was very inspired. So I was studying here in FAST, Lahore, and it inspired me to start something on it. So I started doing some here and there stuff online, and then I ended up in doing digital marketing. That ended up in starting some of the online e-commerce ventures because I love doing trading. I love doing making stuff and selling stuff, but selling online become my
Yeah.
passion afterwards. And then I started an agency. The agency was initially digital marketing agency. Since last 3 years, it's now totally focused e-commerce marketing agency. So it's one of the only e-commerce marketing agency that you can find in Pakistan. So we have clients from across the globe. Other than that, we have a manufacturing house. Other than my agency, we also manufacturing boxing gloves and fight sports gear, and we export it, and we also sell it online through our under our brand names internationally. We have warehouses in now UK, USA. We are also selling it on Amazon, and we have achieved quite good numbers recently. We have onboarded a few of the UFC champions with our brand. So this is kind of a journey that I inspired by selling online, and I landed up having my own agency and partnered up with different manufacturing brands. So one more thing I want to add here, yeah. uh, the most important thing that inspired me was data. So I see when we used to go to buy a grocery, we buy stuff, and the grocer over there, he just pay us and he has a till machine. So one time I saw a guy on an airport looking at Google Analytics. So I went to him and I said, like, what you doing? So he said, like, I'm from India and I'm just looking at my blog numbers. And I was so inspired with the visitors, with the graph and everything. So I thought I want to do something which gives me this graph with these numbers. So I came back, and these little inspirations cluttered together. I organized over the time, I polished them, and I finally find my passion, that is e-commerce now. For like last 5-6 years, I'm a manufacturer, I'm an exporter, I'm an online seller, I'm an Amazon expert. We have different brands, not just a website. We have different registered and patent brands, renowned brands, and we have an agency that is also an e-commerce focused marketing agency. And we have team, everybody doing SEO, PPC, social media, content marketing in my team is for the e-commerce. So e-commerce is in my blood now. It's my daily life.
So, Sad, in all your journey, who was your inspiration? What was the thing that inspired you to take you in the e-commerce market, in the e-commerce industry?
So I always wanted to do business, but online. And this thing, we have everybody who is actually graduating today in 2019, they know a lot about doing online. But when
Yes.
I graduated, and before that, when I was studying, there wasn't enough data, enough knowledge, enough blogs that tells you, except doing SEO and, running some ads, you don't know anything. People are doing, affiliate marketing and stuff, but there wasn't that much content available to read and inspire from. So I always wanted to do something that not make me go and start living outside. So everybody, when I tell everybody, I want to do something, they say, you have to be outside Pakistan. You cannot do this stuff in Pakistan. So eventually I found out few of the online stores in Pakistan, they are buying stuff and they're selling. So I was like, this is a biggest gap. There are products in demands and there are people who need them and they purchase online, but there are no much websites. So we started hunting out. I partnered up with one of my university friends. We set up some factories. He was actually making boxing gloves and stuff. So I joined him, and gradually we found multiple leather products that we start selling, and it's kept on inspiring us. So Jeff Bezos, if you say, was one of the, whenever you start with the e-commerce at an early age, you always dream of Jeff Bezos as your inspiration, and you always dream to be something like Jeff Bezos. But eventually we find out we never probably gonna be something like even Daraz in Pakistan. We will be having different online stores, each in different niches, making products in Pakistan, selling them outside, or probably making products in Pakistan and selling them within the Pakistan. So these inspirations comes along the way. I believe your inspiration is basically a destination that you want to see, but over the time, the people who inspires you kept on changing. You are inspired by sometimes your elder brother, then you're inspired by, let's say, your mentor or a teacher who knows about online stuff, and then you find another guy in a conference and you say, like, I want to be that guy. He's too good in e-commerce and he's too good in analytics. So what happened is, over the time, your inspirations keep on evolving as well, but the ultimate goal, the ultimate dream that you want to achieve, that should be consistent. That should always be focused, and you always need to be determined to achieve that. Yeah.
Yeah, really inspiring. Thank you so much, Saad, for sharing. I'm really inspired with your story and your inspiration. Thank you so much for sharing with us. So, Saad, here comes an important question. What are the three
Mhm.
actionable steps that you suggest to our youth and all the e-commerce business persons, that three steps that should be taken in any e-commerce business to grow their business successfully?
I always tell one thing. So this is also goes for startups. This is also can go for people who want to do anything online.
Yeah,
If you want to do anything, you don't just read blogs, don't just go and watch tutorials and start it off. It's a good thing, but you cannot, it's very rare, it's the probability is very less that you will start earning from it. If you want to do something, make sure that is it your daily bread earning or is it your side gig. What happened is, most of the time startups mostly in Pakistan, the startups are related with the e-commerce. So when they
yeah,
start, what they do is they consider it not their primary, but they do jobs and they do stuff. Why? Because they are not relying on their business plan, and they're not relying on the plan. So always before starting, do a job. Doing a job within the area, like for instance, I did a job in Sofizar. I learned SEO, I learned social media. My ranks are skyrocketing for each of my stores, and I give all the credit to my mentors and bosses in Sofizar. Those are the guys who inspired me. Who teach me, like,
mm,
how I can do it. So learn from the job and then implement in your business afterwards. Now, the second thing, where comes the plan for doing a side gig or doing it full time. You should be planning at a micro level before initiating. What happened is, most of the people start, okay, we'll start a website and we'll put up some beautiful logo, we'll put up some products on it, and then we go to the vendor market, and then we go to find the traders, and then they find out that they need at least 2 to 3 million rupees cash initially injected into their e-commerce store to start a circle. So the issues like these, then teaming, then planning of salaries, Then if you're bringing a customer support department, you might be giving them commissions. So stuff like that, cost initially, investments, incurring costs, and the cash flow circle, to running
Yeah.
e-commerce store that is making a revenue of around 10 million in Pakistan, you need at least 1.5 million. So 15 million to run
Yeah.
a circle of a 10 million in Pakistan. So there is always a 5 million, that's just 50 lakh rupees. That is around 37,000 to $40,000 per month additional cash that you need to run your circle. And then you have to understand how much is your profit margin, how much is your gross profit margin. So you have to be very on the top of your business plans, goals, milestone. Now the third thing that you should be very, 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 I say it's usually post launch, that is making sure your processes and your teams are aligned. You cannot
Yeah.
say that my team should be coming at the 8 a.m. You cannot say my team should be coming at 12 p.m. You should have processes for them. So they are already aligned. You don't have to chase them to come on time. Or if you are hiring some telecommute, employees, you don't have to, you give them processes. So in my team, we have agency that also runs our client stores, that also runs our stores. So we have processes for everything. We are into custom products as well. So customized products, that means we have a computation of 250 100,000 different patterns. So when a custom products comes in, there are always processes from a design team, from an order team, from a shipping team, from a manufacturing team, quality assurance team. So they know. So, and you don't have to do everything by yourself. What happened is, the worst thing is, when startups and e-commerce, they always want to do everything by themselves. You don't have to do it. You start doing allocating the jobs you have to do to other people in your team, and start trusting them and start guiding them. Wait for the transition period so they get it perfect, and they will help you scale up your business. So these three things are very important.
Yeah, really important. Awesome. I really like these steps. Thank you so much. So here comes an opposite question to it. What are the three
Mm-hmm.
steps that you suggest to the youth and all the e-commerce businesses, startups that
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be done,
Mm-hmm.
and that steps that shouldn't be taken in any e-commerce business
Mm-hmm.
that will hurt their business?
Mm-hmm.
So please share.
So, to avoid hurting a business. So when we say an e-commerce business is hurt, that means they are now in a crisis of
Yeah.
bearing losses. They are in a crisis of getting shut down, or they are in a crisis of not growing. Sometimes most of my friends, so we are also investing in Pakistan in different e-commerce store. My team also, what they do is, we have strategic partnerships in one of the top e-commerce stores in Pakistan. So what I learned is, most of the time, my strategic partners, I learned from them, most of the time, their crisis is not growing up. They are making profits, but they are not growing up. So they want to grow on a certain stage. So this is also one of the crises. So to avoid these three types of different crises in e-commerce, one thing you have to do is choose your partners carefully. Choose your partners carefully. I'm repeating it again. Choose your partners very, very carefully. Don't make your friends partners. Don't make your wife or your spouse partner. Don't make your cousin a partner in an e-commerce store. Never ever trust or on them in a way like, he's my friend, he's my cousin, what else sometimes it's not dishonesty, sometimes it's not the money they will steal. It's not like somebody will be dishonest if they steal money. Sometimes if they are not inputting the right amount of effort and contribution required, that's also dishonesty, and these stuff ends up in crisis. You getting the stress, the other partner getting the stress. You are just wasting time for years and you're not growing up. So ensure that the partner you choose is not something that you like, but he should be someone who is suitable for the business. My friends are my business partners as well, most of my friends, and we are friends before. I feel like most of my friends, we probably cannot go along for more than 2 hours. Most of my friends, I cannot probably sit with them for 2 hours just idly having fun. But for my business point of view, they are my ideal. So what happen is, I can talk with them hours and hours and hours, and I will not feel any stress. And we are always on the same page, understanding. You know, so this should be important. The founders, the co-founders, the partners, your relationship with your CEO, CTO, that should be strong. The next thing, you have to be on top of an analysis and data. You should know how many orders you're getting each day. You should know how many orders that is computing for a month. You should know how much finance you have. So for instance, if you have 1 million in your account, you have to pay salaries, you have to buy a stock, and you also buy some equipment in the office, and you also have to fulfill your credit card fees for the Facebook ads and Google ads. What will you do? How you will budgetize? You have to be on top of financial planning. You have to be on top of the numbers you are getting. You have to see which products are performing well, which are not. So your numbers are very, very important. You cannot just do everything is doing fine and you just be, laid back and you compute everything. Every second you should have Google Analytics, you should have reporting, you should have site reporting, you should have email synchronized, data coming in every day. You should be computing stuff yourself on a spreadsheet. I have team who are very capable of giving me analysis, but every day I'm sitting with my partners, I'm sitting with my team, computing myself. I'm very good at Excel. If somebody needs help on Excel, I'm always available, by the way. So, the thing is, I always crunch numbers to find out what is performing good, what is not performing good. Either it's ads, either it's products, either it's vendors, either it's, any of my web store, either it's, content or team. So this is very important. The third thing, so these are the most important thing that I can think that can hurt a business. The third thing I can think is demotivation and stress. Avoid that. If you are getting demotivated, so let's be scientific. Why you are getting demotivated? So when we believe, we are Muslims, so we believe in something. Like, we have Allah who is always protecting us. So this belief generates hope. When this generates hope, you just chase the stuff you're doing, and you sometimes it's beyond your access, but you just have to do it. So this hope, you don't have to lose it. If you start losing that hope, what happens is you start getting demotivated. So don't get demotivated. Demotivation means you don't know stuff. That's why, and you're not achieving it. That's why you're getting demotivated. If you know stuff and you're achieving it, you will be motivated, So if you don't know stuff and you're not achieving it, just hold your hope and keep doing it, and you will eventually be there. Now, the second thing is stress. Avoid that. So the stress, and get stress at any level. If you're going into an office and your partner is just annoying you, or if you go into an office and there is a toxic employee you just hired, so even you have some people who don't make you feel comfortable. So you just have to avoid that stress. This is very important.
Bravo, simply wow. These are really amazing tips and tricks that you have shared with us today. So I really
No problem.
appreciate it. So Saad, here comes the most and amazing and difficult question of this conversation. So in all your journey, there will be many, many failures in your life. So what is the single most failure that you recall from your professional life? What was lesson learned, and how did you recover from that?
So, when you are starting up, you make different partners. So one of the thing I always regret is choosing not identifying the right partner. So one of my partner, so when we started the agency, I got up with him, and he had some different mindset. I have some different mindset. He has some different working behavior. I have some different working behavior. So I realized over the time that he and I cannot go together, but he was my friend. So I took a lot of time and I stick with him. So when you are actually friend with somebody, expectations are beyond the terms of conditions and contracts. So what happened is, so that was my one of the biggest failure, that it took 3 or 2 years of my life on a drag moment. I could not able to gain the momentum I could have achieved. So he was on a different pace of doing well. So we so I decided I cannot go with him. All the work I have done, he cannot be part of that, and he probably don't even afford me to be part of his journey. So when you are friend, it's very hard to depart your ways. So it took me some time, but I think I should have make this thing happen earlier.
Yeah.
Because I was under the influence of my friendships. I was like, let's give it some more time, let's give it some more time. So now he's doing good, I'm doing great. So it should have happened earlier. So if you realize that your partner or your vendor or your any relationship is not working good, give it some time, but a reasonable time. Do not drag it to a moment that you actually start regretting. So one of my regrets is always I gave it too much time. Otherwise, it's just like I wasted some of time. But this is the thing. I did not identify a partner correctly. Most of the time, you cannot actually. You are humans. You never know. And I took a lot of time to depart my ways. So this should be one. And this also applies to the projects and the products. So for instance, here comes another thing. So this was my failure, but for the people who start selling, let's say, leather wallets, yeah, and they start selling leather wallets, they make a website around the leather wallets and leather bags, and they start pushing, and their numbers are not, positive for 1 year. They're just draining money. They should realize whether they should be moving on or they should stick to it. So it's their decision. So they should not be spending too much time of their life of number of years that they should regret in the future. So they should switch quickly and they should move on or bring something parallel, diversify.
Really inspiring. Thank you so much for all the conversation and sharing your life experiences with us, Sad. So,
No problem.
people who are watching this right now, how can they support you?
They can support me. That's a very tricky question. How they can support me? So there are two ways they can support me. One, they can pray for me always, and the other thing is they should not stop here. They should not stop here by listening to this conversation, a very excellent conversation that you have put on today. They should not stop here, and they should keep forwarding the learnings, the knowledge, and the sharings we are sharing right now. Because I believe, one thing I always do is I share a lot. I share a lot of knowledge. Whatever I learn, I share with other, and I do not hesitate in asking questions to people. So one thing I always do is I go to different forums. There are some industry celebrities in e-commerce. There are some big industry celebrities who are very close friends of mine now. And I always read about them and I was always hesitant. They probably never gonna reply me. But this thing I changed. I always go and ask them and they always come back to me. But always ensure that you do not ask silly questions. They should always learn first, go deeply into the tutorials, go deeply into the content, learn and adopt, and then they come up with the questions and share with the audience or ask the question from the mentors. If my audience, if your audience listening to this conversation, if they can make a habit of doing this, that keep sharing the knowledge, keep spreading the word around, what you have learned, share it with the others. That will be a big sport for me, because I always telling people, if in Pakistan, if you know how to make a website, you cannot die of unemployment. You can always run multiple e-commerce stores. You can do much more stuff. So this is a skill, and skill needs to be enhanced, and that can only be done by sharing knowledge.
Really great. Thank you so much. So, Saad, you are doing Facebook marketing as well. So many person I have seen
Mm-hmm.
in the e-commerce market, people are running Facebook ads, Google AdWords ads. So what are the
Yeah.
3 actionable steps that you suggest to the Facebook marketers that should be done in their marketing so they can scale at the good level?
Mm-hmm. So is it for the scaling or is it to start up the online advertising?
This is for scaling because Facebook
Scaling.
marketing is done by everyone. A local person is also doing it,
Yeah.
but they don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
recover from the mistakes or don't do this mistake. So do share those mistakes that shouldn't be done, and how do they scale?
So one thing I learned is, you have to be updated. By
Yes.
updated, I mean there are always updates coming up for the Google ads. There are always coming up for the updates in the Facebook algorithm. There are always, SEO updates coming up that are impacting your ads as well. And this is a big topic I want to, people to know about it. The different rankings also impact the ad copies as well. Anyways, so the thing is, when you are actually, let's say you are spending around 3 lakh to 4 lakh per month on your Facebook ads, and let's say 40 50,000 on your Google ads. This is a typical spending of a store that is making around 2 to 5 million per month, yeah, in Pakistan. Now if you want to scale up, you have to first identify your products, which products you want to scale up. You have to know which products are having enough margin for you to do testing, and they have enough demand so that if you scale up, if you spend more money on these, they actually gives you more revenue back. So first identify that. The second thing you have to identify are the best ad copies and ad strategies. And when I talk about ad strategies in UK, USA, you know, my budget is around, should I give you the numbers or not? So okay. So my budget is around $100,000 every month for my online e-commerce stores. And we are spending around $40,000-50,000 per month for Google ads. But that is around 60-70 lakh rupees in Pakistan. But if you are doing the same ratio in Pakistan, it's just like 10-15% on Google ads. Rest is all on the Facebook advertising and Instagram. Why? Because in Pakistan, there is no Google shopping. So we spend a huge amount of money in Google shopping, Google display ads, and YouTube video ads. In Pakistan, you can just do Google search ads, Google display ads, and YouTube ads. So for the Facebook advertisement, in Pakistan, you spend a lot of money. So first, you identify which strategy is working for your audience, for your product, for your industry. Once you identify, then you have to make funnels. Funnels are the one thing that everybody is missing. Funnel, what they consider funnel is people coming in, they see the ad, they are retargeting. That's it, two-way. So I have a complete list of funnels that we have been implementing. There are more than 150 workable funnels that have provided us a good ROI. So you have to know on top of how much is your ROS, how much is your ROIs, the cost of ads and everything. And then you have to devise your funnel. For instance, if you want to show them one ad copy, how they should be retargeted on different placements. If they should be retargeted on Google Display Network, what ad copy they should be seeing. And if they're coming back to your cart page, adding product, which ad copy they will be seeing again if they haven't completed their purchase. If they have completed the purchase, how you can actually bring them back to buy more from your website, because if they are a happy customer, they will definitely increase the revenue for you while reducing your customer acquisition cost. So understanding these funnels are very important. Now, the third thing I always think that helps you scale is, you know, one thing this is for the Pakistani audience mostly, running ads on Facebook. This is a trade secret I'm giving out today. When you spend, let's say, 1 lakh rupees and you are getting an order of, let's say, if you spend 1 lakh rupees and you're getting 1,000 orders, that is around 100 rupees an order. Yeah. So you say, okay, I will spend some more money. You spend a little more money. What you will notice is that if you spend 150,000 rupees, you will be getting more than 1,500 orders. So it will be, the cost of ad will actually be reducing and you will be getting more money. You will scale it a little bit more. You will add more budget and you will see that your cost per order now is increasing. So there is always an equilibrium point in Facebook ads that you have to achieve, which is demand, showcasing your product to different audience, and how much revenue you are getting with, there is a correlation of ad amount that you are spending. So you always have to achieve a number where you can see that, you know, this is the optimal point. Do not go up, do not go beyond, make multiple sets, have different strategies, and, you know, spread your Facebook horizontally rather than going vertically. You know, what people do is keep spending, spread it around vertically on the same product, spread it around different ad copies, different stuff, you know. So these all, I believe, you know, if somebody can actually achieve these, they can easily scale up.
Thank you so much, Saad, for sharing the secret recipe of Facebook marketing. So
yeah.
Here's come my last question of this conversation. What will you say as the final?
As some final words, you know, let's inspire some people. If you want to start an e-commerce business, if you are inspired of selling something online, there is nothing that is stopping you today. That is no budget issues. There is no technical knowledge issues. There is no team up issues. There is no office issues. It's just you that is being a force that is not making things happening in your life for the e-commerce business. So to start up, you don't need just a domain. You need a plan. You need a vision. And you just have to follow up. You will learn the skills over the time. You will do mistakes. You will get failed. But you have to know that you are failed here. You will not be repeating this failure again. You will not be repeating this mistake again, and you will bypass this failure. This is all about business. In today, I am making a lot of money, alhamdulillah, through e-commerce businesses. But even today, with this knowledge, with this experience, me and my team and my partners always are encountering mistakes, rookie mistakes that we are doing. This is not something like we do not know. This is something that when you grow up, that means you are making mistakes, because every time you grow up, you explore some new avenues,
Yes.
and you make mistakes, you learn, you move on, you make more money. So do not stop yourself, just start doing it today. Do not wait and just start planning, start buying domain, start setting up the website, learn about the. And one more thing I want people to know is, in Pakistan, there is a, if you want to start an e-commerce, there is a phobia of Magento. I'm not against Magento, but everybody thinks Magento is something that we should be doing. There is WordPress plus WooCommerce plugin that is more powerful. My $1 million store is on WordPress plus WooCommerce. There is Shopify that is monthly basis and is easy to set up. Then there are other options as well. You can even go with the third-party solutions which are available in Pakistan. So do not go with the Magento if you are starting up. Even if you are a developer, do not go with it. You do not have to have a state-of-the-art security system and everything. You just need a small website to start selling and to start up, and then you can always scale up and modify your platform.
Yes,
so that's all I believe. People can actually
people actually go with a big budget and go on the Magento and start with there and go in loss.
Exactly.
So really amazing conversation. Thank you so much, Saad, for sharing your all life experiences with us today on the behalf of State of the Union for E-commerce team and my Global Social Entrepreneurship Foundation. I really appreciate your journey. Keep up the good work. Stay blessed forever.
Thank you, Bilal. That is an amazing opportunity for me to express something really dedicated towards e-commerce in Pakistan. That is a great thing you are putting up together. All the best. Thank you.